into so many different categories, and we're not going to talk about all of the categories right now. You're going to learn about some more throughout the day. But we want to make sure everyone just understands where this can go. And so we've invited to be with us here today a good friend of mine, Dr. Eric Nepute. Dr. Eric is a world-renowned doctor and owns sports clinics and his own medical clinics throughout the United States, and has partnered with some of the top sports industry clubs, football, baseball. He's going to talk about that today. And they are really on the front end of health technology and health performance, utilizing AI. And so we invited Dr. Eric to come so that he and Dimitri could meet each other and so that he could share with you some of what they're doing right now, not in football yet, but in American football, in baseball, and in many other sports, and to help you understand the types of technologies that are happening in the sports world. One of the categories that will be developed in this ecosystem will be specifically around the area of sports science, of sports performance, and Dr. Eric is one of the experts in the world today in this category. They have their own platforms that they do in other areas around the world. He's going to share some of that with you here today, but we just want you to understand right now what's possible. Now, here's what I want to make sure all of you understand. For every single person who becomes a founding member of this project, depending on what founders pack level a person gets involved with, you get to participate not just in the blockchain side with the nodes and minting the tokens, the coins, but you get to actually participate in the revenue royalties from each of the different categories. Those categories, again, are the NFT marketplace for players. The second category is player transfers. The third category is the clubs and academies that blockchain sports is partnering with and developing around the world. Imagine that. Imagine actually owning, being a partner in football clubs all over the world. Huge opportunity. Huge opportunity. Huge opportunity. And the fourth category is sports science and health technology. The fifth category is technology, R&D, and development. Dima will be talking about that today with some of the VR projects and the AI systems that they've developed. Imagine being able to share and be a part of promoting and earning royalties from all of these different verticals that we're going to be talking about today. So right now, guys, we're going to learn a little bit about what's happening in the world of sports, science, performance, AI, and technology. Help me welcome my good friend, Dr. Eric Nepute, to the stage.
Welcome on stage, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Eric, the best sports health data.
Crush it, baby.
Well, first of all, how amazing is all of this so far? I promise every one of you, if you'll engage me for the next 10 to 15 minutes, I will share with you some information that can and will change your life. And I'm so excited for the legends of football to hear what's possible, what's limitless, and what's going to happen, not just in football, but all the sports that blockchain sports is going to be around with. So, folks, it's really an amazing opportunity to be with all of you today. We came halfway across the world, like many of you, to share with this group the limitless possibilities of what we can do in sports enhancement, empowerment, and taking football performance and training to the next level. So let's get into this. First of all, I need everybody to understand that the days of being a high-performance athlete just based off of your athletic ability and your grit to win are over. We know that those individuals that understand technology, that understand AI, that understand how to match science, human performance, and AI together are the ones that are going to be taking all of the sports, including football, by lead. What we found is this. Your elite performance is in your DNA. How many of you know what DNA is? It's in your DNA. We can measure your DNA and tell you your risk for injuries, your ability to recover, what supplements and nutrients and et cetera that your body specifically needs. We have taken the guessing out of sports performance and enhancement. And we've proven this. We've proven it, like Jeremy said, in the National Football League. We've proven it with the NFL Combines. We've proven it in MLB baseball. We have all these amazing technologies that they've all wanted us to bring to them. But we were looking for the right group, the right limitless thinking, integrity believing, and fearless individuals that are ready to change the way of sports performance. And we found it here with Limitless. What we have the ability to do now, we can measure molecular performance in athletes. I'll get into that, I promise. We can measure reaction time. How many of you have ever heard that that athlete has something special about them? They have eyes in the back of their head, or they have situational awareness, or you see athletes that know that kick that I'm gonna do is going to be at that corner and that athlete's gonna be there. We can measure those things now, which were immeasurable before. Now, just imagine how simple it would be if we were able to unlock your the blueprint of your elite performance by an at-home or at your facility simple test. By a simple finger prick, we can measure all of the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, deficiencies, etc. that your body needs specifically. With a simple swab in your cheek, we can measure your DNA, 150 genetic SNPs we can measure, and we can tell what you need, what you don't need, how to sleep, etc. We can put personalized athletic profiles together from the integrated AI that we have with all of the technology involved. And we can work with our sports clubs to have real-time football training. We'll be able to tell, are those exercises and activities that are being prescribed by the coaches for the footballers, do they work for those individuals? It's really quite amazing. By the way, I wanted to show you that we already have a global network of CLIA and CAP certified laboratories. We have the highest of the highest integrity with all of the medical testing that we have globally. By the way, we have limitless potential when it comes to capacity. We already can handle tens of thousands of tests per month. Now we're going to be able to take it to all the football academies, and we're super excited about this. We have a one-stop shop that we've created with our partnership. We can put together a comprehensive DNA report. Now, trust me, when I've explained this to several of the individuals that are here, every one of them has said, I don't just want this for my footballers, I want this for me, because this technology is so freeing. It gives you, with complete certainty, how you as an athlete should eat, should sleep, should supplement, etc. We can do real-time athlete monitoring. When I talk about the AI that we have, our AI is already patented AI. Our AI is already being used right now with the Department of Defense in the United States of America when it comes to predictive prescribing and the ability for a soldier, if they are injured, for the doctors to tell them what exactly they need to do to get better. That's already in play. We have 91 patents on this. We have integrated nutritional plans. I'll show some of the technology that we're using, but we now, for the first time ever, can actually measure the cognitive skills assessment of our athletes. We can measure and see the longevity of how they can handle stress. Has anyone here ever performed on a high level of athletics? Any of you over here? Well, the stress is one of the most important things to understand. And there are genetic imbalances that many of us have that can lead to us not handling the stress. And sleep and recovery. Did you know that your ability to recover is predicated on your body's ability to reset itself when it sleeps? But did you know that every individual has a genetic predisposition for how much sleep is required to heal? Some of our athletes may only need 4 to 6 hours. Some may need 8 to 10 hours. It's just dependent on the individual. And we've been able to take this technology to a completely different level in professional sports in the United States already. At InterAthlete, we also talk about a roadmap that we have. Our map deals with 3 things. Number 1, mentality. Number 2, athleticism. And number 3, purpose. You saw in the introductory video this afternoon that our intention is not just to raise athletes, not just to raise super athletes that can run faster and jump higher and score more goals, but we want to raise young men and women to a level of integrity. We want to be able to teach them, motivate them, inspire them, educate them along the way, and our map to that elite performance has already been proven to do so. We're going to be bringing that to the blockchain's sports. It's really pretty amazing if you think about the science. Now, I want to show you something. There's 115 genes that we measure for athletic performance and peak human performance. This is one of those genes. I just want to give you an example. There's a gene called MTHFR. This is one of the most common gene imbalances on the planet. About 45 to 50% of the planet has a problem with this gene. This gene does not allow the body to detoxify. How many of you know folks that go, they exercise, they run, and they're sore for 2 or 3 days later? They can't get back on the pitch because the game that they played before they couldn't recover from. They have this gene imbalance. And if we know with certainty, with sniper rifle certainty, we can actually put protocols together that can completely cancel out the imbalances with these genes, which is huge. And by the way, this is just one of 150 genes that we measure. Did you also know these are some of the most common injuries in football? Concussions, shoulder issues, knee problems, Achilles issues, tendinopathies. Think about this for a minute. What if there was a way with every athlete that comes through our academies, we're able to measure their metrics, their blood, their saliva, their DNA, and we're able to tell what injuries they are predisposed to. You see, I've worked with professional athletes for over 20 years, and it's not just about making sure that that athlete can perform on the football pitch, but how long can they do it for? Look, if we're seriously talking about what we're doing here, we want to be able to raise the value of the athlete, right? We want to be able to raise the value of the NFT of the athlete, and we want to ultimately be able to raise the value of blockchain sports. Having athletes to be able to do specific exercise protocols based off of their injuries and minimize the risk of injuries is absolutely huge. The National Football League and the MLB is begging us to just partner with them and no one else. The problem is they don't think limitlessly. That's why we're here. If you look, we're able to measure. We talked about this a little bit in the introductory video. We use some of the highest integrated technologies, the GPS wearables, the high-speed cameras to regularly track the physical metrics and really drive on-field performance of our athletes. This is what a lot of clubs are using now, which is great. But we don't want to be like every other club. What we also want to do is we're going to be bringing custom cutting-edge data points for maximum precision. We actually have customized advanced metrics that we measure with our athletes. We have balls, soccer balls, footballs that have sensors in them. We have cleats that have sensors in them. We're able to track everything, and all of these metrics go into our AI, which gives us predictive programming and gives us an idea of the value of this athlete, long-term and short-term. It's really amazing if you think about this. Some of the technologies that are being brought to the table in sports science right now, some of these things seem completely like from outer space. It's such amazing technology. It's out there, but no one has put it all together yet. This is going to be such a disruptor in the world of sports, but also in the business aspect of sports. I'm going to show you in a moment how we've already changed the metrics of how certain professional organizations value and evaluate their players. We're going to be bringing some technologies to the blockchain sports academies to optimize the training of real specific type of nanotechnology to maximize cellular health. Now, look, I know I'm a doctor, I'm a little bit of a nerd sometimes, but your health is all about the health of your cells. So we focus on cellular health. Our nanotechnology and our cell signaling technology will help improve cellular repair. We're also bringing nutrigenomics, which is a very specific nutritional balance plan of what foods to eat, when to eat them, and what supplements the athletes need to have for maximum performance based off of their DNA and their genetics. And then the rest and recovery program. These rest and recovery programs are second to none, especially when we implement the brain wearable technology. Ladies and gentlemen, we can measure brain and cognitive function, and if the brain and cognitive function are not working like it's supposed to, the athlete is more prone to injury, the athlete is more prone to not succeeding on the pitch and causing serious problems, not just to themselves, but to others. So this is what I was speaking about with cellular performance. We have some technologies that we can discuss in details at some other point, but one of them I wanted to bring up was a recovery technology that we have created. You know as well as I do that it's not just about taking the right vitamins, minerals, eating the right foods and supplements and etc., but it's all about how does your body recover. Does anybody know, marathon runners? Are you familiar with marathoners? Yes? So we just completed a study, and the study shows that with this technology that we have created, that we're bringing to the team, the marathoners were only able to run 3 marathons in 1 month because they needed time to recover. The same marathoners, after implementing this technology, were able to run 3 marathons in a week with having better recovery. How big of a deal is that from a scientific technology standpoint? I don't think you can even comprehend how powerful this is. But don't worry, you will. Now, I want to share a short video with you. Let's see if this will play proper for us. It talks about the brain testing. This is one of the most critical pieces of what we do with InterAthlete, what we do with measuring brain functionality. Your volume? So I'll narrate it since there's no volume. So what we have, if you'll see right here, we have all of these athletes that are actually right now on a computer that we have proprietary patented software for every sport that's out there, including football. And what we're able to do is measure their reaction time, their visual direction time. We're able to measure how does their brain perceive things. And once we find out how the brain perceives visual reaction time in a swing or in a kick or in a run, we can develop therapies and technologies to improve upon that. The same thing is true when it comes to soccer, football, baseball, the other sports, to measure perception of speed, timing, all of those things. We have the ability to do that. And then once we get the score, this is what's powerful about this. The National Football League is using this technology right now with their combines. Are you familiar with the NFL combines? Yeah? So at the NFL Combines, every single one of the athletes goes through our cognitive testing. Let me show you. Let me skip this video, and I'll show you one more thing. This is one of our results patterns that happened. This is a Major League Baseball catcher. And this catcher started our program. I want you to think about this for a moment and how it translates to football. We measured just the brain function of this athlete. We found out that he had a problem with chasing pitches that were out of the strike zone. He had an impulse control problem. He did our protocols for 6 weeks. Within 6 weeks, he improved his hitting the baseball by 111%. What does that do for a professional athlete's contracts? What does that do for production on the field? We've also done it with young athletes. We've proven that not only can we do this with professionals, but we can do it with youth athletes as well. Just 4 weeks of this study shows that we improved their ability to perform in baseball by 77%, just by measuring the brain function and giving them the right treatments and protocols to follow. This is one of my favorite things to show. If you look at this, on the left, these are 2 football players, American football players. If you look on the left, this is a first-round draft pick who was given $1 million signing bonus, a 4th-round draft pick, $1 million signing bonus. His second contract was $14 million. If you look at this one, this was a first-round draft pick. This gentleman was given a tremendous signing bonus, $3 million. He had all of the attributes. These athletes looked identical on paper, but we did the brain assessment with them. And guess what we found? The brain assessment scored at an 87 here on this athlete who got a $14 million re-signed contract, and this one was a 63. They failed our test. He was a #1 draft pick and couldn't get picked up after year 3 again. We have proven that this science works. We also have proven that we have technology that once we find the brain is out of balance, we have technology, brain wearable tech, that literally synchronizes the brain and improves athletic performance. We have all the data on all of these. This is truly amazing stuff. By the way, connecting the known with the unknown, this is our AI algorithm. This is the patented technology that we now have patented for sports performance. The last iteration of it was done for the Department of Defense, and I told you the story how if someone gets injured at the VA or on the field of battle, they go through these protocols. Doctors will only use these protocols now because they have such a high success rate because of the AI algorithm. So we test, which is one of our mottos. We test, we don't guess. Physiology doesn't lie. We measure the outcomes, we measure the improvement of how the athlete's responding, and then we have ways to optimize through drills, workouts, nutrition. All that goes into the patented AI, and then that gives us this information. So we would have an athlete that would have their normal stats, and Inner Athlete helps athletes enhance their value. So we know the normal stats. We know how many games they play, how many goals they score. We know the assists that they have. But now we're able to measure the nutrigenomics, the nutrition, the training, the hydration. This is not where sports science is going. This is where it's at. And if you're not playing at this level, you cannot compete with the teams that are out there, period. And they're begging for us to bring this technology to them. And we have it here. Also, these performance will also show an increase in NFT. This is what I really wanted you to see. This is huge. In the NFL, the National Football League, we've done studies with the general managers. When they sign these college athletes to their contracts, they have a 55% failure rate. When they implemented just our brain measuring technology, it went from 55% failure, which means they sign a contract and the athlete doesn't make it past 18 months. If they put the brain data in and gives the metrics that I showed with you before, that went down to 17%. That is literally hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue that has been saved by national football teams and reinvested into the proper athletes. This is huge. This is just with the brain technology, not the other 7 aspects, including the nutrigenomics, the DNA, the machine learning AI. We already are saying, is it going to be 10%? Is it going to be even lower than that? Because we are already generating 5% failure rates. That is absolutely unheard of. When that comes to, like Jeremy said, from the scouting reports, that changes the way that scouting is done. Literally changes the way that we look at the value of our players. We can measure everything to the T with our AI. We say it's going to be below 5%. Time will tell. We get to be a part of that. I need you to understand, when this technology is unleashed, the level of disruption that this brings to the business world and the sports world has never been seen before. That is why we are excited to partner with Blockchain Sports and this community, because you think limitlessly, you have integrity, and there's a group of fearless leaders here that are willing to do whatever it takes to become successful, and we're excited to be a huge, huge part of that. We all know the global opportunities when it comes to soccer globally. In 2022, we know that 5 leagues alone generated $18 billion. We think that is truly chump change to what we can do together as a team. By the way, we've already heard that Blockchain Sports, we're ready to go into other sports. We're going to start in football, but we already have the technology ready to go for tennis, for cricket, for other sports that are out there, basketball, American football, and etc. And we get to do that. In fact, there's also an opportunity eventually to take this to the masses. By the way, I just want to show you some social credibility. These are already the organizations that we're currently using just little bits and pieces of our technology with. We're bringing all of it to blockchain sports. It is going to change the world. Look at all of this as well. These are the universities, the colleges, and the professional organizations that we are already working with. And every single one of them would love nothing more than for us to be exclusive with them and with no one else. But why are we here? I told you that we're here because we believe in the mission of blockchain sports. By the way, these are, if you know, these are very